Hi, I'm TJ and this is Sci-Fi Quest. This is my first post and it's about NaNoWriMo. What's NaNoWriMo, you ask? Well, NaNoWriMo is National Novel Writing Month. What it is essentially is a group of authors or writers or aspiring writers getting together for 30 days, starting on November 1st, ending in November 30th. And in that time, they are to write 50,000 words. 50,000 words is about an average novel. Science fiction novels, which is what I write, are about 120,000 words. However, 50,000 words would make for a very good first draft. I wanted to do NaNoWriMo for a couple of years now, but I haven't been able to. Life happens, gets in the way, you just got to deal with it. Anyways, this year I'm definitely going to do it. It's going to be a book called Another Boring Day in Space. When I spoke with people that actually write for a living, the very first thing they told me was, if the person that you're writing about is bored, the people reading about it are going to be bored. So I told them that the guy in the novel was bored for just the first page. So I think it should be okay. Anyways, I'll be writing a science fiction novel because I want to start writing. I finished my first novel. It's now in the editing phase. I will be doing regular posts regarding that. And also, I'm going to be doing regular posts regarding science fiction in general. I liked science fiction since I was a little kid, back in the 60s. And I mean the old science fiction, when Flash Gordon was battling with Ming the Merciless, and the cigar-shaped rockets had sparks coming out of the rocket tubes, and the smoke would go up in space. So that was kind of interesting. But anyways, it made me wonder about, so how do you what's a spacesuit like? How do you breathe in space? How do the spaceships work? How can you live in a different planet? What the gravity would be like? All of that kind of stuff. It was really interesting. I really got into it. That's kind of like why I started reading a lot of science fiction. And then, of course, I got hooked on Star Trek. That show was a lot of fun. Of course, back then I didn't know the red shirts died. I only knew that if you were security, you were probably not making it to the next episode, because I saw it in black and white. So evidently I couldn't tell that it was the red shirts that got it every single time. And then, of course, when I was starting college, I saw Star Wars. Good movie. More fantasy than science fiction. I know. It's supposed to be science fiction. I'm aware of that. But still, mostly fantasy. I really enjoyed it. I do enjoy fantasy. I enjoy all those tales. I enjoy Tolkien. I enjoy Martin. So I do enjoy fantasy. But my soft spot's science fiction. And then, of course, I saw Alien. Now, Alien was what really started me on analyzing science fiction and going into it, because I had a few friends that had seen it. Spoilers, by the way, although I don't think anybody's going to be spoiled by what I'm going to say. A few friends of mine had seen it and they told me, go see it, it's great. But they didn't tell me anything about the movie. So I went in expecting a space saga of some sort. I knew there was a monster involved, but let's say that when the thing burst out of the chest was a surprise. But see, after the movie, when I was talking with my friends, I started wondering, well, wait a minute. it's peculiar that a space creature, an alien, so by definition, it's never seen a human and a human's never seen it, evolves and develops in such a way that it's the right size to hug your face, and then it's has the right proboscis to go down your esophagus into your stomach, and it incubates in your stomach or your chest or wherever, and well, I guess the stomach acid and the acid blood. It is science fiction. But anyway, and then it bursts out. So it's got to be the right size for all of this. It's got to be able to deal with the adverse conditions inside of a human body. And on top of that, it's got to be strong enough to burst the chest. We're talking sternum, we're talking ribs, we're talking a lot of connective tissue. Let's just say it would have been a lot easier going out the abdomen. But that's what got me thinking. So, although I do take the reality chip out every time I go see a movie, I usually sit back down and start thinking about the hows and the whys and if it makes sense or not. I was watching iRobot again just recently, and they make this big thing about, well, of course you trashed 2 trucks that were transporting robots. I mean, you were driving manually. Well, I have news for you. A lot of people apparently do it because the accident he was in was because of a truck driver who, instead of going automatic, was driving manually, fell asleep, and killed everybody. Well, not him, but you get my drift. So that's the kind of thing that I find really interested in science fiction. Is the kind of thing that motivates me to write, because the world building, the consistency, making sure that everything is nice and tight, and that we get to enjoy a story that's absolutely flawless. It's close enough to reality, although we know it's not. That's the kind of thing that's fun. So that's why I'm in Nano this year. That's why I'm going to do my very best to come out with a really good, interesting novel. I'll keep you guys aware of everything I'm doing. I'm going to be posting at least 1 video a week during Nano. And after that, I'll try to post at least 1 video a week. The first 2 or 3, which will be in December, are going to be about robots. So if you have any ideas or any suggestions, I'd be more than grateful. And we'll be in touch. So keep questing.